Hello, world. This is Royce Spencer, one third of the Raise the Bar podcast. Brothers reaching back, and yeah, today is Happy Friday, the 24th of February, Black History Month as well. So I think it's the last Friday of Black History Month. So I hope everyone's having a safe and fun beginning of their weekend. I am here with my oldest brother, Rick Spencer. And yeah, we just wanted to jump on real quick and share some of the recap that we have from our event we hosted this past Saturday. And yeah, we had a good turnout. Some of the youth and the parents in the community came out and just chatted with us on some of the challenges we're facing, some of our first dreams and aspirations, the fears and challenges that we faced while going through that, and how we were able to persevere, use some of those skills to transfer over and what we're focused on today for those of us who were, adults that took part in the discussion, and really, collected some solid feedback from some of the youth. It was Emily, Juan, and AJ were three of the youth that really spoke out and shared some of their current challenges. So we're gonna go over that today. I'll let Rick jump in, and we can get started.
Good afternoon, world. It's Ricky, another third of the Raise the Bar podcast, as well as Brothers Reaching Back. And looking forward to quality conversation here with my brother Royce, just to kind of recap our event that we hosted over at CoBiz this past Saturday. It's very entertaining having the youth kind of come out, engage, have host conversation with us, just share what they're really passionate about, possibly some of their challenges, and just kind of brainstorming ways that we'd be able to help them avoid those roadblocks or kind of just understand what they're experiencing in that moment. So really looking forward to kind of diving in a little bit deeper with here with Royce and just kind of see how we'd be able to come together and piece things together with the youth as we continue to put them together and come full circle in our next meeting. And also look forward to inviting some of you all out as we send out this information, be able to get you to come out and participate with us. And again, like Roy said, we had Juan, Emily that came out and joined us. And we're looking forward to adding to the youth that are able to attend with us and just kind of share your experiences and also provide some of your feedback for some of your experiences. So at this point, I'm ready to dive in and get this conversation going.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we it's just gonna be Rick and I today. Bryce was not able to join us, but um, I want to start with a conversation we had with AJ on Saturday, and he's a young 13-year-old kid that is I believe, in Hercules, and he shared that his current dream is to be a chef when he gets older, and that was awesome because I know I can't cook. I mentioned that a couple of times. Um, I'm more than happy to be a taste tester for him as he practices his craft, but we just kind of all shared some of our dreams growing up, the adults as well. And as you can imagine, a lot of us did not end up in the careers that we originally aspired to. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't take anything from those dreams that we had as 13-year-olds. And what I tried to do is, share my story. Growing up, always wanted to be in the NFL. Played, football in college. I've mentioned that a few times before, probably on these episodes, but that was just like what I went all in, and that was like always my goal. I wanted to be just like Jerry Rice. I had some of my family and friends growing up would call me Jerry Royce, and that went to my head. But I actually I was a decent wide receiver. I got a little echo going. But yeah, I was a decent wide receiver, and I feel like that just put me on a path where I was committed to becoming the best wide out and Hercules at first, and then I kind of achieved that, and then became okay. I want to be the best wide receiver at my college. I went to San Francisco City College and in junior college in my early years, and ended up starting as the wide receiver. The five is what they called it. It was like the ones on the outside, and ended up getting a scholarship to play at Western Oregon University. And long story short, at some point you typically around like your senior year when you're in college, you start to realize that time is ticking and probably not gonna reach that goal of making it to the NFL. And still, there was a lot to take away from my experience. You know, having the discipline to wake up early and have practice out in the cold, in the snow, in the rain. I've seen all the weather patterns that you can think of, from playing in the fog, rolling in San Francisco, to the cold Northwest winters, Pacific Northwest winters. And yeah, I have taken that into my everyday life. Now I wake up some mornings 4 or 5 a.m. and go out for a run before I go to work. And I just like hold myself to that standard of like, okay, I still want to push myself to be in the best shape I can be health wise. And I know that that transfers over into like my mental state. Like if I'm kind of exerting my energy and giving it an effort, it usually puts me on a good path work wise when I'm speaking and presenting and doing some of my tasks at work. It really helps to have my fitness in line. So I try to challenge AJ to give me some like skills that you can take from being a chef into any other area of life, really. And one he came up with was communication. If you're in a kitchen full of a bunch of chefs and people who are, you know, waiting tables, and people who are actually cooking, and all these different people running around the kitchen, you probably are going to need to communicate a bit. Otherwise, you're going to be running into each other. Stuff's going to be getting knocked over, falling all over the place. And before you know it, you're going to have some unhappy customers wondering where their food is. So that was a really good first example that AJ came up with on his own. And then from there, I challenged him to, dig a little bit deeper. What else can you come up with? And we came to the conclusion that having a eye for details, like just the small details of making sure that you don't mistake sugar for salt or baking soda for baking powder. There's a bunch of examples that can make a sweet, savory meal real salty and not so satisfying. So that was something that you can certainly transfer over to maybe healthcare world, where you're giving medications to patients, and if you end up giving them the wrong meds, that can not only make you negligible, but you can also end up losing your job and possibly be prosecuted for you know hurting somebody. So those are just like some of the many transferable skills through all of the examples of original dreams that people had, that still you can take it and run with it. um it was, yeah, that was a really fun conversation that we had with AJ. But yeah, what were your thoughts, Rick? I can't remember what your original dream career or job was, but sure it was something interesting.
For me, I'm just thinking back, it was because I was kind of older. For some reason, I can't really put my finger on that exact topic on why, but I was kind of steered towards marketing. I don't really understand or know exactly why I wanted to go towards marketing, but that's something where my heart was at, and just kind of understanding marketing, I guess, from the business life and the business aspect of it, is understanding marketing, how to target your audience specifically that you're trying to go after, and understanding that. And then just even with our conversation with AJ, just kind of, I know he was still young, but like he's just kind of digging in to find out what his favorite dish was. It was his mother's spaghetti, and then just kind of just giving him those little challenges, like, why don't you try cooking and making the spaghetti with your mother one time, and then kind of learn from her ingredients and her process, and then that way you can kind of build off the foundation that she already has, is already there. It's proven example. You love her food, and like, and once you're able to create something that you love, it's that more genuine, and that way it kind of gives you the foundation to be great, because you're already vested in doing something great, because you already have that connection with mom. And just kind of, I know he's still young, just give him those little challenges to try going on the YouTube, creating other little dishes that he likes and what have you, just to see how good he is. And then that way, the more with repetition, the more that you do it, the more confident and the more flexible he'll be at being able to do it on the fly instead of having to go off the ingredients. If you do it enough and you kind of have the ingredients there, you'll know them by heart. Like, okay, at this point, this is when I need to add this particular ingredient, the measurements, and at that time, the more you do it, the more that you'll get comfortable and confident in doing it. It was kind of just preaching that to him. He was definitely a great young man, and continue to press forward and just give him those easy, little simple challenges because he's still young. And then as he gets older, I think he'll definitely be confident enough to take on those bigger challenges. Before we know it, he might have an Instagram page selling selling food to the high school students when he arrives there.
Yeah, I mean, everyone nowadays has that goal, aspires to have some sort of Instagram or YouTube channel in order to blow up, get notoriety. But we did, on the flip side, have a conversation with really everybody about how social media can really be a challenge to, you know, kind of getting in the way of what you're supposed to be focused on at the end of the day. We chatted with just like how it costs nothing to have, you know, access to Instagram or TikTok and YouTube, but at the same time, these companies are, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars, you know, for YouTube and Google, and who's the parent company of YouTube. It's worth $1.2 trillion. Yet most people are not paying to access these platforms, and there's a reason because most of everyone who accesses it is being marketed to, and there's advertisement that you will end up being on the receiving end of. So it's really important to understand that it's a business model to have you spending more time than you probably need to on these platforms. And yeah, just we just had to inform the everyone who attended the event, just be privy of that. Like, don't fall victim to being sold way more things than you actually need. Like, just be conscious of the fact that you are there for that specific reason, really, at the end of the day. Like, that is their business model. So really a lot of interesting dialogue that took place on Saturday, and it was awesome. I guess in the spirit of Black History Month, and you know, this being the last week of it, I would love to just kind of like share some experiences, I guess, like an idol, and yeah, an experience growing up doing Black History Month events with the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and you know, some of the Martin Luther King events that took place when we were growing up. Our church used to always have a part in the Black History Month events and around Hercules, Richmond, San Francisco, the Bay Area in general. And for me, I just remember our mom always putting us on as one of the speakers to give a speech that, you know, some Black leader gave in the past. She also used to volunteer us to give a recital. I played violin growing up. Bryce played trumpet, and Rick, I think you just, yeah, we're always giving speeches. So it was, growing up, it was irritating, of course, because you're doing something that you didn't really volunteer for. But now that not only am I an adult that gives presentations constantly for a living, but also a parent of a child that I want, you know, to live up to her fullest potential, I really appreciate mom throwing us out there and challenging us to be comfortable giving speeches in front of a room full of strangers, be, you know, confident when sharing, you know, a story or a speech from someone who is well accomplished and a historical figure that is remembered through the generations long before or long after they're gone. I appreciate that so much. And I guess like my favorite Black history icon, looking back, I am very, very like appreciative of W.E.B. Du Bois is what probably those who are French um, fluent speakers would say. And the reason being is because he was really a pioneer for data visualization, which is kind of the line of work that I'm in. I just work with large amounts of data, try and build out uh, graphics, charts that can be compelling enough to get someone's attention and drive business decisions. And yeah, WEB was sharing this sort of data, what, in like the 17th, 18th century. And yeah, I'm just proud to know that like he was really one of the first of any color to do so. And last but not least, I'll just share like some allies. I think that we really need to give more credit to allies that are helping us push the progress forward. And I don't know who this lady is. I hope to one day meet her. But my mom told me that her at her job, she just told me this today, that there was a woman of Filipino, ethnicity who at her job was the only person, and I'm not sure if it was the only person, but she was the only person that she saw when she was getting ready to help set up some of the Black History Month, um, like books and statues and figures. There was a Filipino lady on the floor by herself helping to put up Black History Month stuff, and yeah, I just think that that is so awesome. That's some real Bay Area stuff right there because growing up in like Hercules and like a family in the city, I feel blessed to know that like we have such a multicultural place that we call home. Like even in Vallejo is like the most diverse city under 500,000 people, and Oakland is the most diverse city over 500K. So like that is awesome. That speaks volumes into like there's so many like people of Asian ethnicity, um, you know, Latinos, of course, who are just like always holding us down and having our back and knowing that, hey, we're all in this together. We all want to see people of color keep moving forward and just like breaking down some of these systems of oppression that really hold us all back. So, united, we stand much stronger. And I just wanted to shout out the allies, man. We appreciate you guys. We know, people call it Black History Month, but much appreciation to you as well. And I know that was long winded, but Rick, tell us about you know, one of your experiences doing some of the Black History Month events or anything along those lines, man. Love to hear some of your stories.
I think with just Black History Month and all together, this is probably my first month where I wasn't actively involved in the Martin Luther King celebration. But I think just in the past, just being involved in a lot of the MLK celebrations, and I'll take ownership in not being involved. I should have been more involved in the one that took place in Marin City, and just the passion about that. And just actually, I think we honestly we take for granted some of the elders that we have that are at church, like the Reverend Lawsons, the John Taylors.
Yeah.
I know I seen a few pictures back in the day where I didn't realize that Martin Luther King Jr., he was literally on the concrete of Easter Hill Methodist Church in Richmond.
Yep.
And I saw a picture and I didn't send that out to everyone, but I should have.
Oh
But it
yeah,
was
no, I
like
remember seeing that at church all the time. You probably saw it, but may have forgot. But Martin Luther King was on the block on cutting back in the day.
yeah. And just seeing that, maybe in the moment I saw it, but just like being in the place I was at that moment when I saw it, it's like, man, we really was walking in the footsteps of Martin Luther King over there at church, and just that he was actually gracing the grounds over there, and that those older individuals are in a place of real power. Like I just remember the Mr. Taylors, Reverend Lawson's, Mr. Tony, and all them. I mean, Mr. Anderson, and there were some real heavy hitters. And as we're kind of the digging deeper, we're following down their path. And for me, more, I don't think this was on a Black History Month, but I'll never forget. It was definitely my first time being thrown in the dungeon when I had to give a going away speech, going over to that was I was leaving to go to school to leave for college. And that was the moment when I realized that no matter what, anytime you should give a speech, you always thank your family. Mother
Yeah.
Spencer definitely made a point to remind me of that. You know, go up there. and start to speak to us, thanking everybody else except for your family. Excuse me. So that's
You
something
maybe
that
could
I
thank
definitely
God
kept in
before
back
you
of
thank
mind.
family, but you better thank family second,
Yeah.
God. That's real.
Yeah, I think my order, it was just I was so fried at the moment. My order, it was just my brain was just shooting random, like whatever, just thinking what to say. And I was just thinking whatever I could say just to hurry up and get time to go by faster. So that was just definitely like the minute you realize you have to go up there and make that speech, just have your checklist, just automatically, honestly, just have that checklist beforehand because you never know when your service is going to be called upon. So as long as you have that backup presentation ready to go up there and say your little spiel, you're good to go. You make it look like you were already prepared. You stay ready, you don't have to get ready, and keeping that mindset. But just being involved in the community, continuing to engage with the young adults, teaching is, I feel like some of them, I don't want to say necessarily they don't, but there's a lot of rich history that we don't know about. And by continually have these conversations, we just continue to educate those on the information that they might not know or they weren't privy to know because they weren't doing the research. So by us doing the research for them, we could bring it to light and let them know that this stuff is relevant and it's here to know. Just like the African American man from Baby Hunters Point that created the first stint. It's like there's a lot of jewels and gems out there that we don't know
You
about,
said the first
and just
stint,
continue to find that information. Yeah, the first stint for the that the doctors use.
like
He was over in
a
Peru.
finger stint.
No, the one for the medical stint that you use for the doctors use when they're
I, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, you go ahead.
yeah, I have to do more research to give you the specifics on it, but yeah, it's something he created. I could share that in the next podcast and bring that up for us.
Yeah, yeah, all good. No, that's real. I mean, there's so many. I think that's why Black History Month has become something that is a recurring event every year because there's so many accomplishments and contributions to moving the human experience forward that Black people have provided, and sometimes that's overlooked for one reason or another. And um, yeah, there are many months for different cultures, ethnic groups, and yeah, I appreciate all the allies that celebrate, and I look forward to continuing to celebrate others. Like I learned every year that there's different months that that celebrate other groups. So just as you get older and more wise, and also just like collaborate more, you get pulled into the light and just see there's a lot of great things happening. So that's what we're all about. These events that we're hosting, we are proud to bring all different cultures, communities together to really share ideas, dialogue, and just concepts that are here and very much effective. We're using it in our careers, working in banking and technology and the legal industry. We are seeing these principles in practice, and we just want to make sure that the community is not being left behind, even if you aren't working in like white collar, blue collar, no matter what your way of earning a living. We want to make sure that we're all on the same page, and especially for the youth, man, because it makes all the difference. So that's all I have for today. We want to organize another event coming up next month. Again, we appreciate everybody who came last weekend, but we hope to see you all again next time. And we're looking at maybe the third weekend of March. Um, we'll set it in stone, and you will know. You'll be the first to know. Those of you who tuned in listening now, but um, if you have any questions or anything you want us to cover on another future episode, please feel free to comment, text me, call me. My brothers, our family members, reach out to us. Let us know something on your mind, or a topic that you think we should go over. Feel free to let us know. And yeah, again, we're looking at the third weekend of March, I believe. Not 100% certain, but somewhere within that time range. And more than likely, again, thank you. Shout out to Cobiz for letting us host these events every time. It's always, a pleasure to be in that sort of atmosphere. So much good energy there. So we'll likely be there again. And that's all I got. Again, Rick, anything you wanted to close with?
I want to thank everyone again for all their support in this endeavor. Any information that we might not have covered or you feel would be valuable for us to share with the community, we definitely would like for you to share that with us. We can get on here, or even if you're open to it, maybe possibly host you as a ghost and you can provide us with the information all at the same time. I think that'd be really beneficial for all of us in the community, for us all to engage with each other. So again, just looking forward for us to do better in the community, educate us all, and just continue to grow as individuals in the community.
Yep,
Thank you again
absolutely.
for your time.
Definitely, yeah. More than happy to host, some of the folks in our community as a guest. More than happy to make that happen. So just let us know. But again, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon. Much love.
Much love, you all. Take care, Royce.
All right, take care, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too.